Hello, welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening right now on iTunes, please leave a 5-star review. Got a bunch of stand-up dates to shout out this weekend, April 22nd and 23rd. I'll be with the Comedians of the Compound in Atlantic City. Come hang out with us. Get tickets at compoundcomedy.com. You'll see myself, Anthony Cumia, Gino Visconti, Aaron Berg, Pat Dixon, Don Jameson, all the funny boys you'll love from Compound Media, and of course myself. It's gonna be great. 2 shows, Friday night and Saturday night. Check it out. Get your tickets. It's going to be a real hoot. And then, if you like gambling, there's that too. Then I'll be headlining in Jersey Saturday, May 14th at Tiff's Ale House, aka the Dojo of Comedy. For tickets to that show, go to my website, chrissiemayr.com. Got tons more dates coming up this fall. So I just can't wait to continue making lols all around the country. If you haven't got my album yet, check it out. It's still available on iTunes and Amazon, live from January 6th. I've been told it's pretty funny. But now, a quick word from our sponsor. Guys, we've all known at least one person who has made crazy money from crypto. But did you know that it's possible for you to do the same? You don't have to just stand by and be jealous of all these people making money from crypto. You can get in on it yourself. The Copy My Crypto membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally holds and allows you to copy him. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You don't have to buy any books, nothing like that. You just simply do what he does. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which, despite heavy censorship, has gained over 15,000 subscribers and 1 million views. Since March of 2020, he's told his viewers to buy 26 crypto coins. Had you put $100 into each one, it would now be worth over 66K. Of the 26 coins, his top pick of the year, a coin called Phantom, is currently up around 440 times from when he started. That one call alone has retired so many people. Guys and girls as young as their 20s and 30s don't have to work anymore. It's crazy. Remember, this is all public knowledge. You can look this up for yourself on YouTube and check it out. If this is sounding interesting to you and you'd like to join the 1,300 members who copy James, and stop what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/Mayr. That's spelled Mayr. You'll not only find proof of everything I've just said, but my listeners get full access for just $1. You won't find this offer anywhere else. But act fast, because this is a New Year's offer and it won't last forever. It'll expire soon. That's copymycrypto.com/Mayr. Don't take this offer lightly. He's the real deal. Go visit the site now. Yeah. Crypto. Copy my crypto. Okay, that's enough of that. Guys, I have t-shirts for sale. I was using TeePublic, but they canceled some of my designs, so screw them. We switched over. We got a new t-shirt provider. So thrilled to have Flagrant Triggers as our t-shirt site. We are slowly but surely getting all of our designs up and running on here. We got the classic Mayor shirt. Remember, from the Obama era. And of course, rooting for Putin. Buy it, wear it, confuse your friends. I don't know what it means. I just think it's funny. $27 includes shipping. Super soft. You're worth it. YOLO. Get some shirts. Okay. FlagrantTriggers.com. Thanks, guys. Thanks for giving my t-shirts a home. Okay, guys, this is about to be redhead overload. I hope you're prepared, guys, because usually it's just me, the lone ginger on this show, because I don't know if you guys can handle more than one ginger. So hopefully some of you have been listening for a couple years. You've done your stretches. Maybe you have a drink nearby. I don't know if you can handle this show, but we're going to see. We have to do it. I have been a fan of this girl for so long. She is the ultimate ginger. She has received so many awards. She's been nominated for so many awards all over the place, from AVN to XBiz to XRCO, initials of things that you guys haven't even heard of. She's everywhere. She's the best. She's an adult film star. She's gorgeous. Lauren Phillips. Welcome to the show. This is a ginger overload.
Hey.
You must be close because you still have sunlight where you are.
Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas.
Okay. Oh, yes, Vegas is the best. I love Vegas. My sister lives
Yeah.
there. It always feels like a vacation in Vegas. Do you ever feel like you get sick of it? Because sometimes people are like, "Ugh, 2, 3 days in Vegas, that's enough. I'm done."
Well, I live here, so it's definitely different when you live somewhere, but I don't usually go out onto the strip too much. I'm a Jersey girl, so I like more of greener pastures. So like I kind of stay where it's not as busy, I guess you would say, or
Yeah.
congested or anything like that. But it's the city of sin, so obviously I like to have some fun.
It's fun. It is, and I love that you're from Jersey. Did you and I wanna get a little bit of your origin story for those who don't know you. You actually started on ChatterBait as just a cam model. Your
Mhm.
fans were loving you. They couldn't get enough. Did they actually convince you to get into the adult industry?
No,
This
no,
is
it
a
wasn't
poorly
like
written
that.
bio. Okay, good.
So, I actually was a professional dancer. I went to college, Rutgers University in New Jersey,
Oh, yeah. I looked at
and
Rutgers. Yeah, that's a good school.
and I was a performing art major, so I was a dance major, and I went there and I was a professional dancer for 5 years, and I started losing the love for my art because I
What
was
kinda
working a
dance
lot.
were you doing?
Modern dance and
Mhm.
jazz. So I was part of two modern companies. On top of, I was a backup dancer for a Tina Turner impersonator. Yeah.
Wow! My mom was obsessed with Tina Turner.
So like I know all the songs when it comes to Tina Turner, like the back of my hand.
Rolling, rolling on the river. I love that. Boomers love Tina Turner. I mean, everyone should love Tina Turner.
Who doesn't love Tina Turner?
Mhm.
So what happened was I was working a lot because I was also a dance teacher. And that's kind of how you do it on top of being a nanny. You have to work multiple jobs to stay like afloat. And I just started losing the love. And one of my dancer friends was like, Lauren, you'd be great as a porn star. I was like, huh. I
How do you
never thought of
first
that.
like, you're just like, "Oh, could I?" I mean, it's
Yeah,
super flattering.
that's actually like the thought I had was oh, I never thought of it because I never thought of myself as someone's fantasy. But I was always open sexually. Like a lot of my friends like would come to me for to talk about their sex life because they it was a non-judgment zone for me. And so I did some research. Um, and like to make a long story short, when I figured out that I could have sex in front of people, I packed up my car right on New Year's Day, drove the 16 hours to Florida, not knowing where the
Wow.
fuck I was going to live. Am I allowed to curse? Sorry.
Yes! Go for it. They say
uh,
I learned with YouTube, like, after the first 10 minutes, then they don't care as much. We're
okay.
almost there.
I actually did three amateur pro videos or scenes, whatever you want to call them, and um, the two were released. The third one wasn't, thank God. And that's when I decided I was like, well, how am I going to stand out? All these girls, how am I going to stand out?
But how many redheads are there, really? I mean, you
At
already stand out.
at that time, there was like several, like that, maybe not,
Oh,
like maybe like a
man.
handful. We had like Penny Pack, you had Kendra James, I think Siri was in at that time. Like there was a handful, and I was like, well, how am I going to stand out? Like, and also redheads being a ginger is a very specific niche, so I need to make sure that what am I going to do to make, even though I'm a specific niche, that people are going to want to see me. So I decided to start camming when I was in Florida. And I did that for 2.5 years. I was just going to build up my fan base until I saved up enough money and was like, you know what? I'm ready to move to LA. And that's kind of how I
Oh,
did it, is
wow.
that I saved up enough money. And I was like, huh, I think I'm ready for LA. And I just went.
What drew you to Florida initially?
Well, I knew that they shot porn there.
Okay.
So, and also I like, I'm from New Jersey. So I'm dealing with
So
four
many of us
seasons.
East Coasters end up in Florida at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually love Florida. I lived in the Tampa area and I love it there. I love it so much that I bought a house there this year so that I
Oh,
can go there whenever the fuck I want.
congrats.
Thank you.
I was just in Tampa, like, what is it, April? Yeah, I think I was there in March.
Hmm.
Did Tampa, hung out with some friends in Orlando, but yeah, I did the side splitters in Tampa. So yeah, Florida's great.
Love it.
My dad lives down there and other things that are fun to do. So that's so
Well,
neat. Yeah.
I know that the swinging community is very poppin' there. So
Yes, yes, Lord, yes. There were like 10 swingers at my show in Tampa. And I was just like, it was kind of hilarious and awesome because I love finding patterns within a crowd. You know, if there's anybody who has anything in common, it's so much fun to play with. But I was like, oh, just clap if you met your significant other at a sex party. And like all these people were clapping. I was like,
you're like,
yeah, Tampa,
oh wow.
they're a freaky crowd. It's a freaky town.
Hmm.
I'm all about it though. I think that's great because I think it's so easy. You have to keep the conversation of sex afloat. Even if you've been with somebody a long time, even if you're married, the second that shuts off, things get stale, people get resentful, people start looking around and it's I don't know. Do you feel like it's it's impossible to be happy sexually with the same person for
I
decades?
I I do not believe in a sexual monogamy. I don't believe that you. Not saying that it can't happen. It's not for me. I believe in an open relationship sexually because I feel like as we're animals and our animal instincts, just because you're attracted to somebody doesn't just because you lust after somebody doesn't mean that you love that somebody. I also don't believe that having sex with somebody shows that you love them either.
True.
So I like that, it's for me.
I don't think I even liked half the people I've been with.
Yeah, right. I
I
don't
was
even
just
have to
like
look at their faces. I
I
could
was
just
like,
see.
"Thanks for dinner. I feel bad for you." Yeah. So many reasons
But
other than liking the person.
I feel like it opens a lot more doors and a lot more trust when you can explore sexually anyway. And I am a female cuckold, so I love when my partners fuck around and tell me about it and they fuck me and
Really?
I get to like yeah, I love
See,
it.
what's
There is not a
actually
jealous bone in my body when it
that's
comes to sex or anything like that. Nope.
that is so cool. I wonder if it would, like, benefit more people to be that way because it's so easy, like, just
Mhm.
with social media, like, your partner doesn't talk to you for a day, you're like, "Uh-oh, something's up," and it's just there are so many ways to fuck around and there's so many different apps to talk to people on. So I feel like everyone could benefit from being a little less jealous, but it's like also it's like you're very comfortable in your skin. Like you're hot, you know what I mean? Like you know what you bring to the table. So it
I
helps.
guess it's just it's a confidence things after a while, like, there's a lot of hot girls out there, a lot of hot people. It doesn't even have to be girls. Like, there's a lot of hot people
True.
out there that, and sometimes remember, like, my job is to have sex as well. So for if my partner wanted to like if I'm not in the mood because I just got done fucking and he wanted to go fuck somebody, hey, as long as you're safe about it and you tell me about it, because I feel like if you don't tell me, because that's
That's
specifically
what's
what I
shifty.
asked, and it's different for everybody. Like, some people don't want to know about, hey, go fuck around, just don't tell me. Some people are like, I want to be involved. Like, don't do something if I'm not involved. The rules are there for us to create. It's not what like society manipulates us to think about. And I just personally like to be told about it. And as long as you're safe, I'm pretty chill. Like, I'm still human and I'm having sex a little bit more than the normal person has. So of course my body is going to get tired. And, I want to make sure like, just because I'm tired doesn't mean that they're tired.
Yeah. Absolutely. What is the psychology behind you liking to be? You said you're a female cuckold, which I don't know if I know anybody who's described themselves that way, but is it something about like, do you okay, so do you like to know the guy you're with is banging somebody else, or you like the guy that you're with to know that you're with somebody else?
I like to know that they were with somebody else. Because this is how the thing is with porn for me. So like my personal sex life is different than my like on set sex life. And when I'm on set, I have to dirty talk the entire time. That's like my thing, which when I do in my personal life to an extent. But technically, I was like, my favorite porno was Talk Dirty to Me, and it was the guy that talked dirty the entire time. So I feel like when a guy is saying how much he got this girl off and how this is what I did to her, it it opens up that door for dirty talk. And I don't care if that he doesn't want to be like, oh, I want to do this to you, because he's already going to do it. Because all I'm going to do is say, I want you to do this to me. And most guys, they like when you tell them this is what you want. I have never had, I have to say, I think, yeah, I've never had a guy that was like, I hate that you tell me what you want. I've never had a guy say that to
Hmm,
me.
right. 'Cause they guys
So,
don't know what to do. Like, they even the ones that think they're cocky, I feel like nobody really knows. Everyone's
no.
different. You gotta figure it out.
And your body's different every day. Like every day, your body's
True.
different. Like let's just say like you had the Hitachi on your clit for most of the day. Maybe you like masturbated several several
Several
times that
times
one
until your vibrator died, and then you're like, "You know what? I need to start the day. I need to get up out of bed. It is
and
noon." Yeah.
and like they want to get you off and they're like going after your clit. Well, your clit's going to be super sensitive and it's probably going to be hard for you to get off that way. So you
The
saying,
clip's gonna be like,
hey, can you
"Ah!" Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be yelling at you and
"Just
you'll be
read to
backing
me."
away.
Yeah. "Just tell me a story." Uh.
So I actually will tell, like, if my body is super really sensitive in one area or another, I actually tell them to do different things. I'll be like, hey, my clit is sensitive. I want you to do this. Or instead of like fingering me right away, can you like tease me a little bit? I think people forget the art of tease because I love to be teased.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't do that. And I'm just like, really? Like, come on now, you have to have your like the main entree before you have your dessert. So like tease me a little bit, you know?
I agree 1000%. I don't know if it's like a getting older thing or like as you get older, the guys you're with are also older, but it's like I remember being like in high school and it's like of course cuz you were people weren't really at least cuz I was like a mega prude, like I was not trying to have sex right away in high school and so it's like oh, it's like the person was like trying to go as
I-
far as they could and make you beg for
So
it.
the
It's like
opposite.
that was the best. Why did we stop doing that?
Like
Like, wouldn't you
sometimes,
wanna get your partner to the point where they're, like, losing their mind? So,
yeah,
yes, even if you know the person very, very well and you know where to go, some people go, "Oh, limited time, maybe they gotta get a quick one in." Quick ones in occasionally, of course, are fine, but yeah, like,
yeah.
oh, the don't neglect the tease.
Exactly. But like, come on, like sometimes it's nice just to have like a nice little makeout session. Remember, like back in like high school or something, you just make
Yeah, in
out,
the
like just
car,
passionately make out.
at the beach, behind the
Hmm.
deli dumpster, because you had to sneak
Yeah.
away. Yeah,
Yeah,
foreplay, guys.
I was a professional, like, what's they call it? Like tonsil hockey, man. I was professional at that one.
Well, how old were you when you had your first kiss?
Um, I think I was at least like either 11 or 12.
Wow, that's so
Mhm.
young. I thought I was
Mhm.
14. I thought that was kind of young,
No, I
but
lost my virginity at 13.
okay. I was 19. I really held out. I was like the hand job queen. I just was like, I think I was afraid of sex. So
No, I started masturbating at the age of 7. So I was pretty,
wow!
yeah.
7?
Mhm.
So you're
Yeah.
just like asking your parents for just, dolls. Can I have some dolls that vibrate? No.
Once I found
7's
out what
kind
my
of
it was
young.
for, it is very young. Like it is very young. Like I It's not like I was looking for it. Like, oh, but I was just watching TV one time, like the tube televisions, like, when we had cable,
Yeah.
um, and the white like noise would come on, right? They had a couple of channels that would have white noise, and you didn't have like 100 and something channels. You only had like what, maybe
And the
50
and the
years. It's like,
TV would stop after a certain
yeah.
hour. There'd be no more shows, and you just have to go to bed. Like,
So like there was a white noise going on. I had hit this channel with white noise, and I thought it was just a blank channel, so I was gonna like click to next one, but all of a sudden the Spice Channel popped up. And
no!
I was like, "What's that?"
Do you remember what the first so that was, like, your first sort of was it, like, full on porn, or was it just, like
Yeah, it was like a boy girl scene.
okay.
And I obviously couldn't, it was like you couldn't see all of it, but you could see most of it. So, and then all of a sudden it would go into like a white screen, white noise, and it would pop back up. And I was
I
like,
remember that.
"Oh."
Yeah, because we didn't have cable until much later. I don't know if I ever saw anything like that on
I
my
was very
TV,
lucky.
though. And so you're 7 years old, you see this, you're like, was part of
Wow.
you like, I remember being a little kid not little kid, but, like, teenage years, and you start seeing, like, you're like, "Uh-oh," you have this I remember I had this feeling like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be seeing this," like, I kind of knew I wasn't ready for it, and it was, like, made me feel a little uncomfortable, and everybody's different, the age that you're comfortable seeing that stuff. So I didn't have, like, that curiosity, but it sounded
I
you were
was
just like,
definitely curious.
"Oh,
I was
hey."
very curious. Like, well, I had my own room. I was the only child, so
That
I had my own
helps.
room.
Oh, I shared with my
So,
sister. It wasn't even we couldn't even shut the door. We couldn't lock it,
yeah,
nothing. It was
no,
open door policy.
no, there was no open door for me. Like what was I gonna get into? I was like 7 years old. And I knew my folks fell asleep. I knew that they were deep sleepers. So all I had to do is like when it popped up, I was like, oh. And I remember I don't know how I found like my clit, but I at one point found my clit and I knew it felt good, and
It's
that's
always the
when I
last
was
place you look, just like
hmm
with your car keys.
yeah.
That's pretty amazing actually, because I remember being in college trying to masturbate for the first time, and I just was like, what am I doing?" Like, and I also had roommates, so I just was like, it just never was a good time. But the having your own room thing is probably pretty clutch.
Yeah, I definitely like got away with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
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 So
Like
that's pretty
yeah.
neat. Good for you though.
I remember when I was moving out, so I was moving in I think I was moving to college, or I was moving somewhere, and I had to take my we were going to throw away my mattress, or it was something like that, and I think it was 18, 19 now, and I was with my high school sweetheart, and uh, they went to take the mattress, and there was restraints underneath.
Oh, like straps or something? Yeah.
And my folks saw
Oh
it,
my
and
god! Did you forget they were there, or
yeah,
you
I
remembered?
did. I forgot. I just completely forgot. And they didn't say anything, thank God.
Oh my god! Do they but then you think they knew what they were?
They knew. My folks, my parents aren't stupid. They knew. They just, my family is the type of family that, we might know about it, but we don't want to, as long as we don't talk about it, we're
Don't
fine.
ask, don't
That's
tell.
great.
For
Yeah.
me, I would try to think of some bullshit excuse. I'd be like, "Oh, I was trying to move the bed, it was heavy, I was trying to make a pulley system, trying to flip the mattress." Oh my gosh. Alright, so it sounds like you embrace these awkward moments, like,
Yeah.
pretty chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like once I'm like I really was I was a good girl. Like I was, like AB average student. I never got in trouble. I had sex before I ever even had alcohol. I think I had alcohol when I turned 18 for the first time. Like
Yeah.
I had no desire to, and I didn't smoke weed until fuck my 20s because I had no desire to smoke. Like there
Yeah.
was, I had found something I liked, and it made me feel good, and I didn't need anything else,
Yeah.
and I haven't tried any. I've never tried any other drug either. So I was a really good girl. Never snuck out. Like never did any of that. Like I was. Yeah. You know, my parents were pretty lucky. The only thing they had to worry about with me is my mouth. Like I was very opinionated, and I can I can speak fast and bear a lot of zings if I want to.
Zing, zing, zing. Yeah, your wit.
Yep. Mhm.
Beware the wit. Good for you. And
Mhm.
I agree with like not I wasn't really into drinking so much either because when you're a teenager, the only drinks you're kind of around is like, guys will buy beers and they'll have and so if you're not into
Mhm.
beer, it's like,
Yeah.
this doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah. I
Unless
hate
someone like
beer.
maybe the occasional like Smirnoff Ice or like hard mics, like that was kind of a treat. And then I
Yeah.
didn't really get to going to bars till I don't know, maybe senior year. I barely kinda went though. I just kinda like we just drank in the backyards of lifeguards and stuff, so yeah. Hey, I was pretty good too, damn it. I don't get enough credit. Um,
I
so
don't either.
yeah, yeah, come on, and some people in the chat were like that's funny, they were asking earlier, like, "She's a redhead, does she have a soul?" I think that's a common
Uh,
misconception.
I I do. I have souls because I collect them.
Oh, like in a jar, like one at a
Uh-huh.
time? So
Yeah,
watch out.
they're right here next to my heart.
Oh. That's sweet, you keep them for yourself.
Mhm.
So how many years you're doing Chatterbait, and then how did you transition into adult? Like, how do you even
Uh,
know who to submit your stuff to?
so I had met up with um he wasn't a performer, but he unfortunately I can't give out his name because of privacy
Oh, yeah,
reasons.
yeah, yeah.
But he was linked to another porn star, and I had talked to both of them. And at that time, she was wanting to get out of the porn, and I was wanting to get in, and he wanted to help me. And I was like, okay. And he was going to give me a place to stay, which I was going to pay. I paid rent. And he was like, you can come here, and I'm going to teach you the ropes. I was like, great.
Or show you
And
the ropes.
yeah, well, he didn't really show me. He
Oh,
literally was like, you do this, 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 and this. And I had to do it. There was no him doing it, him showing me. It was explaining it, and then
it
I did it.
was like, get whatever, get your headshots or, like, make a clip.
So like he would explain everything, and then at that time, people were having parties, and like every time there was a party, I went to it. Every time there was no not going to a party, because that was where I was networking, and that's where I was getting numbers. And basically that's how I started like my process. I was an independent model for a whole year, and I just collected numbers and would do a good scene. I showed up on time. I had this like the stuff that they needed, and I would give them a solid scene. And then after a year, I had joined. I was some companies won't book you without an agent, and I wanted to work with those companies, but they wouldn't book me, and I
Oh.
was like, what the fuck. So I had talked to Next Level, which is the agency I'm with now, and I wasn't ready at the time I talked to them. So when I finally was ready, was at AVN. I went up to Jonathan Morgan and Andre Madness, and I was like, I want a meeting. Let's schedule it.
Ooh, good for you. Wow, that sounds ballsy.
I was, you know, because I knew that they would want me. And that's how I got in. I've been with them for 6 years. Yeah,
Wow,
6, 7 years. Yeah.
good for you. That's
Thank
really
you.
neat, and now they're probably like, you were right. We did. We did want you. You're great."
They they definitely appreciate my work ethic a lot. Let's just say that.
I have noticed, like, that I appreciate that too, because I find, like, just I have so many, like, friends that are in the adult industry, and I work with and interview so many, and, like, just showing up and not flaking is a huge success. It's just feel like there's so many people, like, it's hard for some people to stay organized, but if you can just, like, keep your meetings and keep your your end of the deal up, like you said, showing up on time just means so much, being
I
prepared.
If I didn't have my calendar, this wouldn't have happened. Like if you're not on my calendar, no,
Yeah,
it
how would you
has to be
remember?
scheduled. It has to be scheduled every time. Yeah. It's my calendar runs my life.
For real. For real. I want to talk
Mhm.
about actually this was a pretty interesting article. This was something I saw in the New York Post. God
Oh
love the
my
New York Post.
god.
A woman was shamed for distracting breasts at dinner, prejudice against big naturals. A restaurant goer had some nasty comments to get off her chest. Adrienne Earhart was celebrating her birthday when a woman at the table next to her started shaming her for her breast size in this now viral tweet. The LA-based podcaster said she was told her chest was distracting before the woman got up and moved tables.
What
Uh,
year was this?
this happened this month. This happened a couple days ago. This happened today. This happened today. Uh, Holy hell. This is a viral tweet from today. Um, Tonight at my birthday dinner, I took off my shawl and a lady at the next table said, "Well, those are distracting," and moved
Right.
tables. Still got it, Earhart tweeted. She clarified that the incident was prejudice against big natural. So here she is on it's your birthday. You're allowed to have your boobs out on your birthday.
I think you're
Yeah,
allowed to have your boobs out anytime you fucking want.
of
Like
course,
it
but
is it
especially
is
on your birthday.
we
Yeah.
already go through this whole fucking generalization that guys can have their shirts off, but we cannot. Why is it
Yeah.
that women don't get turned on by seeing a guy's chest? But
Right.
for guys, they can't control themselves if they see our chest. It's the same, like they still it's
Yeah.
pectorials, even though we have breast tissue, they still have nipples. Their nipples are just as sensitive as ours. I can't tell you
True.
how many male talents I worked with that will ask me to lick their nipple because it turns them on so much. So I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah. I had an ex that was, like, obsessed. It was too much. He was more into his nipples than I was into mine. I was like, "All right, buddy." It was like it was becoming a job. But in
if a
fact, this
girl
was
sat down next to me with her tits out, I would literally be
I'd be
like,
so
I would love
happy.
it. I would be like, thank you for sitting right there.
Yes, and this was a woman. This was a woman who called her out on her fricking birthday.
I'd be like, it must be my birthday because you're sitting next to me.
Yeah. That's what we call a cool chick. Earhart, who's in her 30s, shared a video of her blowing out a birthday candle and wrote, "This was me last night.
Oh,
I'm not even that hot." The lady was just a hater. I mean, I think she is hot. The tweet
I
amassed
think she's
over
hot.
34,000 likes and inspired other women to share similar experiences. Aw, and it's like she's doing her thing. It's not like she
I I
is
personally don't
trying to
think her
like
titties that out.
no, I think this is the correct amount for a birthday. It's
Yeah,
like
I
just
think yeah.
it's her birthday, and it's not like I don't know, it's not like she's hanging them in her, this woman's
I
date's face or something, like
I feel like there's like it's just some cleavage. I've seen way
mhm,
worse.
yeah, it's crazy. And then she got a lot of support in the tweets, "As a fellow big natural, I felt this in my core, dreaming of the day I get a reduction and can be normal." Oh, I mean,
Oh,
that's
don't do it.
sad. I know the
Don't
guys
do
were all like,
it.
"Don't do it. Don't get a reduction." I'll
I
never
think
forget
the only way I would support a reduction, because first thing, the scarring is is some serious thing. But also, if you're having major back problems, like major back problems, and it's
True.
hurting your health, totally, I completely understand. But if you're doing it because you want to feel normal, there is no such thing as normal. You are beautiful the way you are, and as more what makes people beautiful is the imperfections that are with them. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think having big, beautiful, natural titties is amazing. And there's tons of girls out there that wish they had that problem.
Yeah, absolutely. She went on to another user said, "I'll never forget when I was on work experience at 15 years old and the lady I was working for wrote in my evaluation that I dressed inappropriately. I didn't. I was wearing exactly what they had told me to wear. I simply just had breasts." Yeah, and that's always a double standard. Like you could be wearing the same thing, but you like look sexier if you have bigger boobs, and therefore you have cleavage and whatnot. I mean, you know the deal. All chicks know the deal. I had a red fitted tank top on under a red jacket, not zipped up. It was a uniform appropriate when I worked at a major retail store at 18, 19 years old. I was called into HR and a woman complained about my distasteful cleavage. Yeah, probably a
Oh,
jealous hater. They forced me to wear and buy XXL branded polo. Damn.
Can they do that?
At work, man, I mean, I wonder if when it comes to like uniforms, like you should be, I guess it depends on the company.
I think my thing is why are you looking?
I know, right? It's like form fitting is totally fine. If it's too tight and the buttons can't button so much and you have to have it just like mega cleavage because it's so tight, I guess that's one thing, depending on your job.
I I
Who
just think
cares?
like I don't know. That's if someone would say that to me, I'd be like, I probably would quit. And I've never quit. Well, no, I've quit one job. I quit one job to do porn.
Good for you. Yeah, you're like, "Oh, really? You're gonna complain about my tits? Goodbye." In college, I was in a bar going to the bathroom, and this guy said with a very serious face, "You need to watch where you're going with those things." Saw him in the cafeteria a couple weeks later. No risk of him recognizing me because he never looked at my face. Oh, others were not so understanding in response. Maybe you should have worn a different dress, one person said. I'll take things that never happened for 500, another said. School everywhere. I told you so. A user chimed in. Earhart isn't
I
alone in feeling
I
shame over her chest in a public space.
I feel this is very like borderline of you should women should watch what they wear type feel like oh because she wore that it's almost back like we're going back into like the 50s 60s and 80s like oh because you wore that you shouldn't have wore that if you didn't want that type of response
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
feel like
follow
that's
her. Yeah.
going back into our generation right now like seriously like especially in school and with like if I'm assuming by now like if they're in college they're considered Gen Z and Gen Z is supposed to be very more liberal and open-minded and stuff like that so for to I don't know if I think I've only had a couple people ever tell me that what I wore was inappropriate and the one that stood out the most was when my stepfather went to the priest and said, "Why are you looking?"
Oh my god. Thanks, stepdad. I mean,
Yep.
I do understand, like, how men are, like, you can't expect them some men, yes, they can control themselves, they are professional, they don't say, like, there could be a girl or woman, like, "Obviously, your tits are out, it's too much," for, like, whatever the situation is. Some guys can control but some guys can't control themselves, like, it's just that's the deal, they're gonna make comments, they're gonna in a perfect world, yes, like, a guy wouldn't look, but guys look, it's human nature, girls
You
look.
can look. You can look,
Yeah,
just, don't touch without consent.
totes.
We're not
Totally.
saying that you can't look. We want most of the time we want you to look. Like, right? Why would if I'm showing off my curves, I want you to look.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think too. I think there's, like, very few times where you wear something sexy and you're like, "Oh, I had no idea." It's like, no, if someone looks hot, it's like, it's probably because it was intentional. It's
Yeah.
Chewy. Houston, AKA Scrooston, is in the building. Chewy has to show mad love. Ooh, is this a fan of yours? What's up, Chewy? Premium Nick, Chrissie Mayr, and Lauren Phillips. 2 fiery hot redheads. Here's my simp funds.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad we got premium Nick instead of regular Nick. And Blackguard 4, the offended lady was probably part of the itty bitty titty committee and was just jealous and envious. Also, her bobs matter. True, all of the boobs matter.
I don't really mind when it comes like I feel like all girl like I really feel like when it comes to women because I do think girls' bodies are very hot and I love playing with girls just as much as I love playing with any type of person person.
Yeah,
But
girls are generally better looking.
I just in my mind, like, I don't really care if her titties are big or small. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me. I do like my women. I am attracted a little bit more to curvier women that have a nice round butt. because I love grabbing onto booty. That's like my main, like, I want to be able to like grab a nice, that's just me. That's how I
Yeah.
lean towards.
You don't wanna go grab it and it's not there. What are you gonna grab onto? Uh, I agree. I'm all about it. And I also find too, especially with like girls, like even on Instagram, like if they're usually like fitness accounts or cosplayers, like I love following these chicks. It's very inspiring because it's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, like I'm gonna adjust my workout to try to get kind of a similar body like her, or like I'm like, oh my god, the squats are paying off. Like it's, I don't know, it's kind of inspiring for me. Like I
I
don't know. I feel you. I
I
love
think
women too.
there's a lot of different people out there nowadays, and I think sexuality is a lot more open than what it used to be. And I I wish I was in high school and I could enjoy it because I probably would have been a lot more open with my sexuality if I had this when I was around that time, or like around that time.
Meaning, like if you were watching more porn or if you were got it like into the
Well,
industry
no,
earlier.
like what I mean is that like when I was in high school, like I think we only had like I think one or two like gay guys, and there was no bisexual guys, and there was at that time no transsexuals, and not a lot of people were out. I didn't
Hmm.
consider I wasn't even out as a bisexual until like my mid 20s.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a it was, especially where I'm from, it was not a thing. And I wish I could have, like, now there's a lot more like transsexuals, transgenders, bisexual guys, like non-binaries, like all these people that kind of like this is either you have a label or you don't want a label. Like it's just there's a lot more openness. And if I could have experienced that a little bit more, maybe had like I would probably been a totally different person because I could totally see myself like experimenting with like a transsexual or like I have to say my first was already bisexual, but he didn't actually announce that he was bisexual to anybody until we were older. But
Okay.
like it was just a
You're like,
thing
I
at that
knew
time.
though. I knew. No,
You always know.
true. Do you think that there is judgment like inside or outside of the industry for like people who hook up with like transgender folks or transsexual folks? Like, do you feel like that automatically gets you slapped with a label of, oh, you're gay? Like, or do you feel like it's like I just know there's probably a lot of people watching like, oh, if a guy hooks up with a trans person, oh well you're gay then, you know. Do you feel like there are those labels are put on you right away in the industry or outside of the
No.
industry, you feel like that's not a thing for you at all?
I think that in the industry, they're obviously everyone's different, so I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like our industry is a lot more free, and there is not like that label for things. So I think the word "you're gay" is not thrown around as much because nowadays, even with bisexual porn, is was getting pretty popular. So I think there's a lot more freedom to express yourself in this industry. But I can't speak for society because like right now, society doesn't even consider my job real, you know?
Oh my god, it's like,
So
"Well, your bank
and
account is real?" That's so crazy, and
you
it
know,
still bothers me when people I'll hear like, Chase closed down my account," or like,
yeah,
"I can't do business here," or "They shut down my
yeah.
Patreon."
It's
So
just like a how like I can't really speak for society because society has basically outcast me anyway. Like not saying that the government does not want to take my money. They'll take my money all day and Toys on Tuesdays. But
hmm,
like for them to consider that my job is real, what I do, all right, we might want to label me a porn star, but technically I am an influencer. I influence people to do sexual things
oh, you're an
to
inspirer, you're a coach. Yeah,
I influence people, which is we all influence. Like
self-help. Yeah.
mainstream videos influence people, and like you see like kids that want to be a superhero, right? What was back in like what either the 50s or 60s at one point or another, kids thought that if you put the cape on as Superman that you could fly. And
Right.
and you couldn't. It's influencing. It's influencing. That's it. Like, so
Do you
I'm
not
still
like
doing a normal job.
do you not like being called a porn star or a sex worker? Like, because
No,
I've
I
some people
love
don't
that.
love the titles. Like they like certain titles, but not others.
No, I love it. I worked very hard to be called a porn star. I wanted to be a porn star. I just wish society would accept us a little bit more. That's all.
What would that look like to you? Like being more accepted?
Um, God, it would be not fighting with social media anymore. You know,
Mm,
the discrimination on the internet and having people fight for our content that people are stealing and putting on there. Like, this is legit stuff. Like, it's people are taking our content and putting it on the internet without and being able to repost it without even having the legal documentation to prove that they own it. So like it's just that needs to be influenced a little. Like, it's hard for me to
it's
explain,
so
like, to
easy to
say what it is.
screenshot. It's so easy. Like
Yeah.
anything could be like, and I'll even watch like if someone reposts a whole podcast episode, it's like, okay, if you're commenting on it or there's a funny joke or there's like drama that happens and people want to comment it, fine. But if you straight up are copying a whole podcast onto another
Yeah.
channel, like, yeah, you're stealing content. And it's just like, how would the internet ever? And I know there was the whole issue with I don't know, not OnlyFans, but it was a Pornhub. Just
Yeah.
anybody could upload anybody's material, and I noticed
Yeah.
all the time, like all the fake accounts you have to deal with, just on all the different social media platforms. It just seems like impossible to get on top of that. Like I always report the accounts when I see like a friend of mine has like a, if someone has a fake account of them
I
up or
would
something.
I think my ideal world, which is probably not going to happen in my existence, would be that porn could be as successful as mainstream is, and that we could have that celebrity status as back in the good old days, back in like the 90s, when they're making these major features and these
Mm,
were glamorous porn stars, and you were actually a porn star, not like an OnlyFans star or influencer or anything. When you did porn and you were a porn star and it was this glamorous thing. I like almost back in the 80s and 90s was the high point of porn when it was VHS and they were making these big project deals. It was, you were either contracted or anything like stuff like that. I that would be my ideal world
and
when
like
it
you
comes
need
to
to go back in time, Lauren. We need to go back in time. Like I am getting an 80s vibe from you. And that's the thing is like, yes, there more people get a chance to like basically be an overnight success and influencer or porn star or whatever, or get, you'll get scooped up from OnlyFans to, be with like Brazzers or whatever. It's like, yes, there's
like
more opportunity, but like, yeah, it's not as
they're
I
considering
guess.
OnlyFans stars as porn stars, and they get on sets and they don't know what to expect, and
Mm.
it's either a hit or miss if they can even perform,
Are you
and
seeing a
it
lot of
gets
that in
put.
your work? Like OnlyFans people like will be cast on set because they have a huge following. And
Mhm.
then what are the biggest mistakes they make?
Most of the time it's more male talent, and they like can't keep their dick hard, and they're expecting me to, and I will help out my talent as much as possible,
They'll be like,
but
"Come on." Yeah.
like I'll give my A game, but I have to draw a line at one point when you can't do it. So like I'm not asking you to turn me on. I'm doing it
Right.
myself. So you have to have that to do it for you. So that's usually the main thing. Or um, with like with girls, they just don't know how they don't know the angles to open up. Like they forget about the cameras there, or they
Oh,
just don't
okay.
really like girls, and it sucks. It really hard. It's really
Oh.
hard to work with a girl that doesn't like girls, and they make you feel they'll make me feel like I'm a disease. Like, oh,
Ah,
toot. All right, and I'm like, dude, fucking get your face in my fucking pussy, dude. Like, it ain't gonna
yeah.
bite you.
Come on. We're
You
all
know,
we're all friends here.
It's so interesting. Sorry to chime in, but the
Chime in.
parallels the parallels that I'm noticing between OnlyFans into real adult film industry compared to these TikTok comedians and influencers trying to get on stage at comedy clubs, and
Yeah.
it seems like it's the
Mm.
same exact experience that real adult film stars are having, where it's a bad experience for you guys, and that's what's
It's
happening in
hard.
comedy clubs with these fake comics who get a couple million views and followers who've
Hmm.
never stepped on stage in their life.
They, like, get a
Yeah,
huge audience, and then they have to figure out the chops, and it's similar
like
to, like, you guys.
it's hard because they're like that you have to do more work then. Like I know in my side, like if I'm there, my job is to be a performer. My job is to give them a solid scene. I'm supposed to bring out the best and have and bring my A game, my put my best face forward. So I'm there to bring it out. So when they don't know what they're doing, it's more work
It's
for me to
distracting
have to
too.
do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not getting their rates. I'm not getting like what they're getting now. I have my rate and they have theirs. So when I have to do extra work to make them look good because they don't know how to make us look good and be a
Wow.
team, it's not like we'll cut your rate in half and give it to Lauren because it's just, it's harder. And also these OnlyFans people and this I don't want to say clip artists because I know a lot of clip artists that like do many vids and not just OnlyFans. Like they actually are clip artists, but it's
Yeah, there's a lot of
specifically
clip sites.
OnlyFans. They're not even doing our protocol. It's a complete disrespectful at the end of the day. Like that they're not doing model release forms. They're not doing
Mm,
2257s and they're
what's
not
that?
getting tested. And what's going to end up happening is someone's going to go on have a bad experience and they're going to go on OnlyFans and ask why they did not push for paperwork. And it only takes one person. Tracy Lord back in the 80s was 15 years old when she got into porn. They had to take all of her stuff down besides one in Europe because it was of age. It only takes one person to fuck it up for everybody. So it's just a disrespect. Like I remember talking to an OnlyFans star and also an influencer, and I really liked her style. And she was a fellow ginger like me, and I was like, "Oh, this will be really great." And she expected me to get tested, but not her to get tested.
What? Oh, that's a little, I guess
Like
that
it
comes
was
off judgy. Yeah.
It's so disrespectful that and her excuse was I'm only fucking my fiance. And in my mind is like,
Like,
but
I
I
don't
don't know
know
who
that.
your fiance is fucking on you don't know what your
Nope.
fiance is doing. I don't know if you went like you can still catch something if you go down on a girl, even though it's the percentage is lower, this still can happen. Even if you penetrate with toys. So I'm
Wow.
like, it was we ended up not working together. But I was just like, it just was a complete insult that I have to get tested, but she doesn't. We all have to get tested. That is our
Yeah.
protocol. That keeps us safe. And I swear to you, I know one point someone's going to pop up with it's going to be either HIV or AIDS, and they're going to be like, that person didn't get tested, and it's going to be an OnlyFans star, and that's when
Wow.
it's going to get strict. I
Yeah.
swear, because they're not getting tested. They are not. I know several OnlyFans stars that do not get tested.
It's too loosey goosey. Yeah, my friend,
Yeah.
what you said about the model release forms, she did a content swap with a girl on OnlyFans, and she had her fill out model release form, all that.
Hmm.
And then she ended up just releasing a photo of their shoot, just a photo on I guess it was Instagram or Twitter or something. And the girl who she had just worked with, she had stayed at her house for the weekend, like she cooked for her, was so nice. It was just like, not just like, they were kind of like friends, friendly. Like she stayed the whole weekend, and then she posts this one photo even after she had the model release form. The girl ended up getting her whole account deleted just because she posted a photo, but it was like within the model release thing, and they had done all this content together, and she was like so nice to this
Wow.
girl's face, and then she just took her out, and I was like, that is so fucking sneaky. And I'm like, do you think she did that because she's jealous of you because of competition? She's like, I really do. And it was so out of left field, and she was like, I cooked for her, like she
I
slept
think
over.
I think with this like with the social media and internet, because I've gone to a lot of like influencer parties, it's definitely like I guess what we would call it in Jersey is almost like a two-face. Like they have
This was in
their
Jersey too. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's you know what they portray as their brand is not them in real life. And I've had a lot of people, a lot of like the influencers, like I'm trying to shoot the shit with them and talk to them as a person. And they don't want anything to do with me unless they're getting clout. And I'm
Ugh.
like, it's just really sad that that's what it is. And the thing is, it's this like TikTok and all this
Everything
stuff
comes to
that's
them too
going on.
quickly. Like they don't
It's
appreciate anything.
there's like a like now being virtual like a virtual star is like a thing, and I'm like, you're why it's only like one thing that goes. I just doesn't make sense to me.
Right. If one app gets knocked out, then what do you have?
What happens when there is no social media at all? It just disappears.
Everyone would be so happy. No,
Me
we
too.
just,
I
yeah.
would be really
Then we can
happy. I
go
would
back
be
to VHS porn, Lauren. Yeah. Because they're like, they're so, yeah, the opportunities are very much out there, but it's less exclusive, I guess, like it was in the 80s and 90s. And you, of course, you had to buy that first tape. Like, sure, I'm sure somebody could make
Mhm.
copies, but you had to buy that first content. Whereas with the internet, there's just, I don't know, I feel like so much copying.
There is. It's
That's pretty
sad.
crazy. But that's pretty interesting though, because of course I've talked to so many people about like, yeah, OnlyFans has been great. It's making all these opportunities for people, but to hear that somebody, a professional, your experience working with OnlyFans people and how unprofessional they are, I had a feeling that was going to happen because
Like
you can do whatever in
OnlyFans is
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is I'm not gonna like, OnlyFans themselves, they're a third party. They're under what's it, section 230, that they are just they're a third party. They're just a platform providing. So which I understand it's not they don't have to push that. They don't. Um, but like, so I can't I'm not trying to like, burn the bridge that, like anything like that. OnlyFans makes me very good money and I appreciate their platform immensely. I just think I wish the OnlyFans stars, these like people would kind of respect my industry a little bit more because I'm not here because of OnlyFans. Because only at one point, OnlyFans will fade out. It
Mm.
will. It will. It's just a trend. What right? It's trending. That's the thing, right?
Why do you think it'll fade out? Do you think what you think
I
will make
think something
the bubble pop?
something new will happen. Either something illegal will happen or something new will pop up. It's a trend. It's just like
Yeah.
cryptocurrency. It's a trend. It's everything is a trend. It's that's just what it is. It's I can't really explain what's going to pop up because if I did,
Yeah.
I would probably get stock in it. I would
True.
invest in it. But it's the same thing. It's like when, camming became extremely popular and that was like the
Yeah.
thing.
Chatterbait
And
was huge. Yeah.
yeah, they were like, there was cam models saying, without us, porn wouldn't exist. And I was like, hold up here. Without porn, camming wouldn't resist. And I just want to let you know, if we would have put this back further, without porn and without porn and camming wouldn't exist without prostitution. This
True.
is back in the 70s, man. Some of these people don't even know the history of the industry that they're in. Right? The only reason
True.
why cam girls and porn got popular was because back in the 70s in New York City, they decided to crack down on prostitution. And they had whorehouses that they got, peep shows that popped up, and porn. That is how the history of like the adults started into porn. Like, so I'm
You
like,
could teach a
hey,
class, Lauren. Yeah.
I just love my industry and I like to respect all the categories of it because I was a cam girl. I'm a porn star. I do fetish stuff, so I'm a fetish model. Like I'm an influencer and I do influence like I work with companies and stuff like that to help bring audience and customers and stuff. So I just don't like closing doors and putting like, oh, you're just this. No, I am in the adult industry, but I have a lot of things I can do to
Yeah.
go and flex. Yeah.
Don't put Lauren in a box.
No,
From
never, ever.
from homeostasis, thoughts on VR scenes. Oh, this leads perfectly into your thing I wanted to promote. Thoughts on VR scenes. Are they different from shooting regular scenes? And do you think VR is a fad or here to stay?
I think, well, first question, are VR scenes different than regular scenes? Yes, they are. It's a completely different setup. It's usually, well, for me, it's not, it depends on the talent and what I'm doing, if it's going to be a longer day or not. But with a regular scene, depending on that scene, if it's a POV, if it's like, like it just depends on that. But it is definitely different because I have to angle my body a certain way and I can only do certain positions because you have to stay in this frame of being a POV type look.
Yeah.
And I have to, and I'm not looking at my talent that I am doing. I'm actually looking at the camera, which I actually call Johnny Five because I feel like it looks like Johnny Five. He's a
Is the
robot.
camera? Oh, okay.
So the camera reminds me of the old, it's a movie called Short Circuit back in like what, the early 90s, called Johnny Five. And it it reminds me of like the eyes that it has. And I have to look actually
Yeah. Oh man. This is so cute. This kind of
uh,
reminds me of like the Wally,
yeah.
a little like wow.
Wally. Yeah.
Aw, look at him. He's so cute. That
Yes,
that actually
that's
helps if you
Johnny
yeah,
Five.
if you can personify the camera a little bit. Yeah.
So like if
Aw.
you look at it, the eyes that it has, besides the lids that it has, those round eyes is what usually VR cameras look like.
Aw. A little hat on him, a little
Yeah.
bandana. That's fun.
So um I usually have to look right at the camera. So I'm talking to the camera and I'm actually not interacting with my male talent at all throughout the entire
Does that feel
scene.
weird?
Um I'm so used to it now. I cam. So camming is, is normal for me to talk to a webcam and no one responds to me. So it's usually hard if it's a new talent because I can't do anything to stimulate them. They have to be in their head to keep themselves going. So that's usually the only thing. But most of the VR talent is amazing. I just love them. I love them all. They are super sweet and they always put a smile on my face and they can tell like when to help me when I'm getting tired, when like if you're doing squats and you're trying to like fuck a guy doing like as you're doing these squats and they're like, oh my God. Like and you're only like 2 minutes in, you're like, oh fuck. But
Yeah.
I think VR is gonna be in for a while because VR is not just porn, VR is also video games. So I don't see it going anywhere.
Okay. Okay, cool. And you have a fun new toy to promote.
Yeah.
I think I can show this. It's
I
because
don't
this
know.
looks like
Can you?
I am going to.
I
Um,
have
the
I have the
feel
box.
the feel Lauren Stroker. This looks very cool. Oozing old Hollywood glam. Busty redhead Lauren Phillips is a dream come true, and now her fans can feel what it's like to be with her. Pair the Phil Lauren Stroker with Keon. Tune into your favorite content and explore what turns her on. This is pretty cool because this syncs up. I guess you can watch porn and then this will it'll move at the same time, like when
Yeah,
you
so
do.
basically, specific videos that I have, they actually have it's like a coding in the background of the video. So the motion that I'm using will have the motion that will use. You don't even have to jerk yourself anymore. There's a machine that'll do it for you.
Hands
It's
free.
crazy. Hands free. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah, and it kind of
Ah,
like squeezes you. That seems pretty neat.
yeah,
And
it's
would you
amazing.
consider this to be like, I guess it is VR.
I think it's definitely POV, but you can do it with VR. I right now the videos that they have me submitting are not VR
Okay.
because VR it's almost like when 4K first came out. VR has to be edited a certain way, and I don't know how to edit VR yet.
Okay.
Wait.
That's neat. Just wait. And you're up for Female Performer of the Year in the XRCO Awards. You will find out.
It's Girl Performer of the Year.
Oh, okay. And
but I
okay,
appreciate that. I
Girl
appreciate both
Performer
of them.
of the Year. I mean, I was half right. I'm like, there's a female involved. You'll find out on May 5th if you win at the in-person awards, and then you'll get to go to Hollywood. Oh, that's exciting. Is this something people can vote on right now, or is it kind of like out of your hands?
It's out of our hands.
Okay. We'll put good vibes out.
But I just appreciate to be nominated. So I've worked very hard to try to be whatever performer of the year. Like for even in January when I was nominated for MILF Performer of the Year for XBiz, I was like, yay, because I've been performing a MILF for a good 3 to 4 years, and they never considered me a MILF. And I was like, finally, yes.
Aww. It's so funny, Lauren. The first time I saw of you, because people love to, fans get creative. And so people were circulating like, oh, like Chrissie's done porn. And so, of course, my fan base started circulating this image around, which I think
God.
which is you. But then somebody like
me.
drew on a tattoo on me, because I think this was me at like an old gym where I used to work, and I'd be like, all right, I'm trying to work out now and like get rid of my belly, and that's why I took this picture. And then somebody like drew in this tattoo, so people have been like convinced, like, and everyone's like, oh, she did it. And I was like, you know what, I'm so flattered to be even
I was like, I
remotely
feel
compared. Yeah, it's super cute. I was just like, and then I looked into you, I'm like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And then I saw you. I don't think we spoke that much, because I was at the XBiz. No, it was Exotica in DC, even though it technically wasn't DC. Back in, what was that? Was it December? Yeah, I remember I saw you and I was like, there's so much going on, and I was doing like the live stream stuff. But that was a fun one. That was definitely a good time. I went with my friend Zia, who does OnlyFans, but she also does like cosplay. So it was a good time.
It was definitely fun. I had a great time being in DC. Just a little cold for me though. I don't like the cold.
It is. It's too cold. I'm not a fan.
I don't like the cold.
Oh yeah, this was the chat. Yeah, I still think it's hilarious when people say they found a Chrissie Mayr nude. It's actually Lauren. I am so flattered though.
Thank you.
To be confused for another hot redhead. No big deal. No big deal for me. Lauren, what is coming up for you? Oh, we have one more from the premium Nick. Lauren, love your collab with Brandy Love. Do you speak to her regularly? I fucking love Brandy. She's so great.
I don't speak to her regularly because she's very busy, and I know she's dealing with multiple stuff as well. But when she's in Vegas, she always knows to reach out to me because I love Brandy Love. Brandy Love she's just amazing. She inspires me so much. I love her vibe. I just love everything about her. And we actually did that collab together because we were trying to get companies to book us together and they never would. So we were just like, fuck it. Let's just do our own. And we actually had a lot of fun together, and we want to definitely like shoot a lot more stuff because it went by so fast. I felt like I was indulging in some Brandy Love, and then I was like, "Oh, we're done. Oh, okay."
Oh, and then it's like leaving a vacation. You're like, "Oh."
Yeah, I definitely want to go back for seconds.
She's so freaking cool. I mean, her and I just had lunch. We didn't get crazy, but I just was like, she's so sweet. She's so open. She's such a kind, caring, giving person, and I just think she's
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah,
I like Brandy Love. Katie Morgan is a good friend of mine as well.
Katie, yeah, I met her at the Exotica. She's so sweet. Her energy is amazing. She's so upbeat, and you can tell she just loves what she does.
Yeah, they like both of them always put like I always have like a huge smile on my face. They're just amazing people. I just love it. I love surrounding myself with beautiful women, beautiful, amazing women. Like it's just,
you can't go wrong.
I can't say anything.
Aw, We're simping over here. Lauren, what is coming up for you? What would you like to plug?
Oh, fuck. Currently,
You have
what?
You got
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm reading
God.
this thing. I'm like, I am prepared. Don't worry. You're on Twitter. Follow her on Twitter at Lauren Fills Up and on Snapchat at Miss Fills Up.
Mhm.
Gamers can interact with you on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lauren Phillips on Thursdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific. Go to BTS, subscribe. You have a premium Snap and OnlyFans, of course, and a premium OnlyFans. You're on
Yep.
mini vids. You're
I
on
got
Sex
everything.
Panther.
Got
Everything.
everything.
Pornhub.
Everything. Yep.
You're doing it all.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another girl. Please collab with Rhea Sunshiny. I saw her. I talked to her at Exotica too. She's super sweet. Her body is retarded. She's so
I I
beautiful.
I know her, but I don't think we've actually been in like we don't know
Like
each other yet.
met. Okay.
Yeah.
Having handshake.
Remember, there's like it's like it seems like 40,000 girls out there. There's only I have to like spread them out so that, I can enjoy them all.
Yeah. Okay, question for Lauren. If Lauren can do a scene with 2 other girls and 1 guy, who would it be?
Another girl and another guy.
2 other girls and 1
Two
guy.
other girls. Fuck. I guess I'll just keep it in the family and just say Brandy Love and Katie Morgan. And then I'll keep with my next level family. Fuck, it's so hard. Um, oh man. I want to say he's on a next level agency, but I like Will Pounder. Will Pounder is
Will,
really
what a
nice.
great name. A Will Pounder and a Will Pounder with cheese. Sounds like a hamburger.
He's just amazing. So I'm like, there's so many
Ooh,
guys. I get to choose one guy and then 2 girls. You know what? That's not fair.
not fair. Oh, okay, cool. Will Pounder, he was not on my radar, but I love the name. Cool.
You'll see.
Oh, you'll see. I'm loving it. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on. It was so
Thank
great
you
to
for
talk to
having
you.
me.
Is there anything else to mention that I forgot?
Not too much right now. I know that I will be at Chicago Exotica, which is
Yes.
the 29th through May 1st. I will be with my sponsor, which is Kimbuka Studios, which is a rope company. Also, they have candle wax that you like body wax that you can
Ooh.
do. I highly recommend it. And they also have like the little jewelry and the pasties, and they actually teach how to tie rope properly so that you don't get injured, which is very, very important. Let's see what else. I will be in San Diego in June as well, feature dancing at Exposed.
Oh, nice. All right. Check her out, guys. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on. You're so much
Thank
fun to talk
you.
to. Such a big fan. Thank you, chat, for your comments and questions. Until next time. Bye.